Hello, everyone. Welcome to your favorite podcast, Chiquis and Chill, the podcast where you come to listen, to learn, to grow, and to glow. I hope you all are having a fabulous day and you're feeling great because you deserve it. I'm feeling good. I'm not feeling 100 today. I'm probably like at 80. I'm not necessarily sad. I think I'm just pensive. I have a lot on my mind. But I'm happy to be here and talking to you because my podcast always does make me feel better. So thank you for that. And talking about thinking, I was thinking the other day how I am seriously in the best relationship of my life. I have a great husband, a husband that cares about me, that values me, and I'm in the healthiest relationship I've ever been in. And that makes me want to be the best wife I can possibly be for him. But what does it mean to be a good wife? I'm sure everyone has their own definition, but I wanted to hop on the mic and explain to you guys what my definition of being a good wife looks like in my situation, because I think it is situational. So I thought this would be a good episode because people have asked me what I'm doing different. So I want to share that with you guys because I'm definitely doing things differently this time. So let's get this episode started, shall we? Okay, guys. So I wrote a few things down, but I kind of just want to let my heart speak right now. I have learned quite a bit in the relationships I've been in. I am so grateful for every relationship I've been in because I have learned. I've learned to be a better version of myself through the pain. And now I'm in a relationship where my partner puts in the same amount of effort. And that has just helped me thrive as a girlfriend, as now a wife. And I had to unlearn a few things. I had to learn a few things and I had to unlearn a few things. And I can tell you confidently that I am a good wife because I'm very intentional. I know I'm very busy and I listen to my partner. Here's one thing, guys. Listen to your partner. Listen to understand, not to just react. And I used to do that a lot. I would listen to defend myself instead of listening and reading between the lines. And now when he's telling me something, I am listening and I'm like, okay, I want to be my best self for this person, for this relationship, because he's worth it. And because he also does and gives the same, right? Another thing that I've done differently is I don't talk about the issues that I have in my relationship, not with my sisters, not with my friends. I have found that I am talking less and less about my issues with other people. Joyce Meyer, one of my favorite pastorettes, she says, go to the throne, not to the phone. And I feel that that has helped me a lot in my life, especially in my relationship. Why? Why do I tell you this? Because I have done and I have made that mistake in my past where I overshare and then I make up with my partner because that's just what happens. And then the person that I shared it with, being my sister, being my grandmother, or being my friend, they have a sour taste in their mouth of my partner. And it makes things harder for me. So I've learned to just pray about it or talk to my therapist about it and not overshare. I don't think it's necessary. And it's really helped my relationship. So that's just a piece of advice that I'll give you guys off the top. Try not to share those things with people because it will affect your relationship. I promise you, especially with family members, people that love you and ride hard for you. When someone's hurting you, and sometimes it's unintentional, guys. Like things happen in a relationship, you're mad and you say things that you don't mean, or you act a certain way when you're just not being your best self that day, and shit happens, So it's best not to tell your loved ones because they want the best for you. And your partner is probably the best person for you, but in that situation, in that moment, they're not. And it's vice versa. It goes both ways, guys. So those are the two things. Listen, especially when we're arguing, okay? I have learned to argue. I know that sounds weird, but I have learned to argue and I've learned to not raise my voice and try to speak in a way that I want to be spoken to. And there are times when I raise my voice and things get a little crazy. So I have to just excuse myself and take a breather and then come back and apologize. Being in a relationship is difficult because you have to put your ego to the side. And before, in my past relationships, I used to love to argue. I wanted to have the last word. I wanted to be right. And that doesn't work. If you want a long lasting relationship, you have to compromise. You both have to learn to argue and know how to speak to each other. You're not always going to be on the same page. And that's okay. You are two different human beings and you're coming together. And that's difficult because you have your own beliefs, you have your own thoughts, your own opinions, and so does that person. And also, you need to, because I had to do this, learn that that person doesn't have to think like you. I had to stop trying to control situations and my partner. And I had to learn that it's not necessarily control the way your partner can see it, because sometimes it's control in wanting to protect. And we call it control, but it's not that. It's just they want to protect you from sometimes yourself, and I've had to understand that. And also ask questions, guys. Like, let me ask my partner, hey, I don't understand this. Are you trying to control me? Or sometimes I'll tell Emilio, I'm like, hey, I am still my own person. I understand that it makes you a little uncomfortable that I go out with my friends, but you can do the same. And I'm okay with that. I have to be okay. We have to be fair with one another. And you also have to trust me. This is who I am. I still want to be myself. I still want to honor that and honor my friendships and the relationships that I had before you came into my life. And you're a part of those relationships. But sometimes I also want to just do me. And that is okay. I just talked to this lady the other day, and I always like to ask, what's your secret for your relationship? They were together or they are together. It's been 15 years or something like that. And she told me that they set the tone early on in their relationship about them not going out with their friends or anywhere without each other. And I feel the complete opposite. I still want to be me. Again, I think you have to figure out what works best for you. And your definition of being a good wife is going to be very different from mine. But I'm just telling you from my personal experiences and how I was doing things for so long that didn't necessarily work, because obviously I'm not with them anymore. And I take responsibility for what I did and didn't do in that relationship to make it work. But the way it's working now and what I'm doing now works. Another thing is being submissive. I wasn't necessarily submissive before. And I don't mean submissive in a religious way, because people interpret it differently. I mean, I enjoy making my partner happy. And there are things that I am not necessarily willing to change. If you were to tell me, oh, you can't hang out with your friends anymore, that's something that I'd be like, hey, I don't want to do that. I think it's important that we keep our individuality. But then there are other things that I'm willing to compromise or completely lean into, whatever is going to make him happy. For instance, not getting home too late. When I go out with my friends, he's totally fine with me going out with my friends. He's like, yeah, go have a good time. But please try not to get home too late, because in the beginning of our relationship, I would go out with my friends or out to a meeting, and I would forget to check my phone and check in with him. And that would really upset him and cause a fight. And I would get in at 2 a.m. I wasn't doing anything bad. I mean, if he called me, I would answer, but I was just so engrossed in the conversation or having fun that I just would forget to say, hey, I'm almost done. Or it would just take a long time. Now I'm more mindful when I go out with my friends. I'm like, okay, cool. I can go out. I'm going to be home at a decent time. And I check in. And it's not that he's trying to control. It's just I'm communicating with my partner. Hey, babe, I just got here. Okay, babe, we're about to order. I don't mind doing that. Before, it was oh my God, they're trying to control me. And I used to ask that of my old partners, and they felt that I was being controlling. But in reality, it was I just want to make sure you're okay and you're checking in with me because you're not forgetting about me. I think that that's okay. I've learned, I'm growing to learn that Emilio, it's not like he's trying to control my every move. It's just being considerate of his feelings because he's at home or he's working and he just wants to make sure his partner is okay. And those are things and changes that I've made because I love this person. And because, again, I think what has made me flourish in this way is the fact that he brings this out in me. Like, he doesn't ask for anything that he's not willing to give, and vice versa. Like, I do my best, even though I'm busy. I have a busy schedule. It's let me be present. Let me look at him in his eyes, put my phone down and be like, hey, babe, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Let me hug you. And that one little hug that lasts 2 seconds, guys, 3 seconds, it's just like, hey, I'm here with you, makes him feel so good and so wanted and seen, that it changes everything. He could be having a bad day or he could be feeling like he's disconnected from me because he also has told me that, like, hey, I feel a little disconnected from you because I'm so busy. And I'm like, I'm a person that focuses and I just focus and I'm all in. And I've learned, he's taught me to just like be present. Like, hey, work is there. It's going to get done. Let me just take a few minutes to speak to my partner and to be with them in like minutes, guys. Like, even when we kiss, we do this thing. And I think I probably shared it briefly with you guys, but I'll tell him, like, it's not just a kiss. Like, I'll tell him, hey, I need a 6-second kiss. It's not just a little peck, like, mwah, okay, bye, see you later. I'm like, I need 6 seconds. 6 seconds. We're counting. It doesn't even have to be with tongue, like making out. It's just 6 seconds of connecting. And it makes a world of a difference, you guys. It's crazy how it just connects you with your partner. It's not just like a routine thing where it's like, okay, kiss. No, it's like, hey, 6 seconds. And he knows and it feels great. I've been telling him, like, I'm good at communicating. Like, hey, we're not doing this enough. Like, I'm like, hey, I want to like make out while we're making love. TMI, I know, TMI. But kissing and making out is just, I don't know, especially with your person, of course, like, and when you're making love, it's something crazy. I don't know. And I'm like, I need you to kiss me. I need a little bit more foreplay. So I communicate my needs. And he also does as well. Because life happens, guys. And I know that we are a little over a year in our marriage. But I think if we keep this thought process of staying intentional, of knowing like, okay, things are getting a little stagnant. What can we do to light the fire again? So it doesn't become this routine thing. Like, I'm with a roommate, like, I don't want that type of relationship. I've been in that type of relationship and it goes both ways. It's not just the other person. It's me as well. Like, I leave him notes. I'll leave him a note randomly. Like, hey, I love you, babe. Have a good day. The other day he sent me flowers randomly and sent me like my favorite matcha drink and my favorite tuna toast and things like that, that just keep things exciting. And he makes me want to do the same for him, to cook for him, to say, you know what, like, I'm going to carve out 2 hours of my day. And maybe I don't even have those 2 hours, but I'm going to make the time because he's important to me to cook for him because that connects us. And I'm going to sit down and eat with him. And even like taking care of myself, guys, like physically, emotionally, because not only do I want to be my best self for myself and feel good, but if I feel good and I'm connected and I'm taking care of my body, my mind, soul, and spirit, my mind, body, and soul, there you go, and spirit, it's attractive to your partner. Like, when I see him going to the gym and I see his muscles growing and he's taking care of himself and like there's discipline, that shit makes me horny, guys. Like, and I don't mean just horny like sexually, but I mean like it excites me for, like, I'm like, wow, he looks great. And instead of thinking, oh, he's getting handsome for other people, like, I'm like, no, I got to keep up with him. Like, I'm going to go to the gym too. I want to look great because my partner, like, that's what he tells me all the time. He's like, I'm getting sexy and I'm getting muscular because I want you to look at me and be like, that's my man. And it's true. Like, when we were in Hawaii and we were on the beach and I was just like gazing at him, looking at him, and I'm like, damn, he looks fine as heck right now. And it made me want to get up the next day. I'm like, I'm going to go to the gym. I want to take care of myself because I just do. And I don't know if it's just this like thing that I'm on, that I'm like really wanting to treat my body better because this is the only body that I have. But it's also because I do. I want to love myself enough. And for my husband not to want anyone else. Of course he's going to look. There are beautiful women everywhere. At the gym, guys, the gym that we go to, there are some really hot women that I even stare at. And we go to the same gym and it is what it is. Like, I'm like, there are going to be beautiful women everywhere. He can look, but if he stares, then I'm like, okay, wait, I want him to stare at me. He can look and be like, oh, that girl's cute. All right, cool. Look away. I used to be like jealous, like, oh my God, like I want to be perfect all the time. And it's like, oh my God, if he looks at girls even on television, like how ridiculous is that? Like, no, there are beautiful women everywhere. There way that there are good looking guys. I'm not going to be disrespectful to my husband. I'm always going to respect myself first and foremost, but I'm not blind and neither is he, and I have to be realistic. And that has helped me so much where I'm like, well, I used to do this, guys. I used to think and drive myself nuts where I'm like, oh my gosh, like, does my ex, like this type of girl? And maybe I need to become this type of girl and dress like this girl. And no, that is the worst thing that we can do, guys, is compare ourselves to other people and want to be other people and not ourselves. Like the way I've been dressing lately has been a little funky. And I used to do that a lot, like before. And then just society got to me and I just, you get kind of lost. And that's okay. I came back and I dress for myself. I want him to think I'm cute, of course. And he thinks I'm cute, thankfully. He thinks that when I wear the headbands, he loves anything in my hair. He loves when I'm dressed like a hippie. So I'm so grateful for that. But I used to dress myself for my partner. And I used to even change my sense of style for my partner. And we do that. Like, I want to obviously make my husband happy and I want him to like what he's looking at. But now I'm like, I'm going to wear what I want and what makes me happy. And that's what's going to ultimately attract him the most to me is when I'm being myself, being my authentic self. Anyway, I went on like a whole tangent, but the point being that there's finding this balance between pleasing yourself and obviously being your best self. Because I think when people say you can't love another person unless you love yourself, I really do believe that. I believe that until you come to terms with who you are, what you want to change, the things you can't change, your flaws, I don't know. I've never been this confident in a relationship. And I think it has to do with where I am and how I've gone through like the healing process of just healing certain wounds that has helped. That has helped for sure. But also it's the partner that I'm with that I think also helps bring that out in me. And now that I know and can recognize the difference, there's no way I can go back to any relationship I've ever had or go back to something similar. Obviously, I'm married. I want this relationship to last forever. But I'm saying like, I don't know. I've come to terms with who I am and I like myself. And I think that also has helped my relationship. And again, it wasn't just a perfect relationship from the jump, guys. No, Emilio did his work, his therapy. I've done mine. We've done couples therapy. We're learning to communicate. I think it's going to be like this forever. But now I want to be a good wife. And everything I just mentioned and so many other things as well, like are what I think are making me a good wife. Like he just told me today, this morning, he's like, you are an amazing wife. And I don't remember what it is that I did. What did I do that made him say that? Oh, I made him a shake. I was like, hey, you're going to the gym. I got you. I'm going to help you with your drink and little things like that where it's like, hey, you care about me. Like you care about my well-being. You take care of me. I think all of those things go a long way. And it's not about financial things, guys, about your partner buying you things or me buying him stuff. It's just really those small little things that go a long way, like leaving a note or making his shake or steaming his shirt for him. Like I didn't realize maybe before in relationships, I was a little bit selfish and it was more about me. Like you made me unhappy. You did this to me. So now you have to kind of kiss my butt. And that's not fair either. If you're going to forgive someone for what they did, then you just kind of have to clean the slate and not punish the person. And I think I used to do that. And that's exhausting for the other person. Now I'm like, okay, I got to pick and choose my battles. I'm not going to fight over this. Like he left his socks on the side of the bed. He does that a lot. I'm learning to just be like, I'm not going to pick them up either. Like, I'm just like, okay, those are your socks. Those are your shoes. That's your side of the bed. If you want to keep it messy, I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm not going to make it a fight because I love other things about you. But I'm also like, not going to pick up after you. Like I have come, like there's a balance there because I also don't want to become his mom. Now that we're talking about mothering, I had to unlearn that. I am an older sister. I am very used to taking care of, to controlling situations. And it's not even, again, one of my ex-partners took it as me controlling, wanting to like, not that they were my property, because that's another thing I've had to learn, is that we're not each other's property. And that's something where it's like they are their own person. I love this person for who they are. They're going to make their own decisions. And I have to trust that they're going to be smart enough to make the right decisions that aren't going to ultimately hurt me and hurt our relationship. It's all about trust, literally just trusting and having faith blindly and having faith that if there's anything that I need to know, it will be revealed to me in one way or another. And that has saved me so many headaches and so much mental torment, guys, and emotional torment that you have no idea. So I highly recommend that. But going back to the mothering part of it, when I met Emilio, I was certain that I wasn't going to date anyone younger than myself. And not my age, not younger. I was like, I need an older man because I'm very mature for my age, blah, blah, blah. I'm very wise, all this stuff, right? Of course, God sent me what I needed. But getting back to the point, I would mother him. Although, in my defense, I will say he did act very childish in certain situations. And he wasn't very disciplined. And there were things that didn't make me admire him. And I think it is important for you to admire your partner. Like, for me, it's important that I admire my partner, that there is something that they're doing with their life or how they conduct themselves, and that just makes you admire them and it makes you want to be a better person. I didn't have that experience in one of my past relationships. And I would catch myself speaking to him in a way of like, that's not cool. It was a little condescending. And yes, it was something I had to work on and something I had to unlearn, but also it was the way that he was acting. I did feel like I had to be financially responsible and not only financially responsible, but of the home, and telling him what he needed to do. And it was just too much. It was like, it was very heavy on me. And that's not sexy. That doesn't make me want to have sex with you. That doesn't, like, it's not cute, like, I don't know. And it doesn't even matter if I make more money or he does. It's more of just on a life level of like, we're sharing these responsibilities. It just doesn't fall on me because I'm the woman and I'm supposed to wash the dishes and cook and make the bed. And also I'm working. It's like, no, we need to help each other. And that's the kind of relationship I want. Now, if you're a type of woman that stays home and you do everything, your husband works, and that's what you guys have, I think that's great. That's awesome. Like, whatever works for you, right? For me, it's like, I do want a partner that's willing to do his part without me having to ask. And that's one thing I've had to talk to Emilio about, is I don't want to have to tell you to take out the trash or what to do to take care of our home, because this is our home. There are times when I have to point things out because as women, we see everything. We're very detailed. Men are more of like very focused and logical. So there are things that I've had to point out, like, hey, can you, I don't know, clean up the backyard or something? I don't know, something like that. And it's, of course, the way I say it and ask. If I'm demanding it, I'm not going to get a good response. But if I'm asking and saying, hey, babe, do you mind whenever you have a chance, can you please, pick up the trash outside or something? And that has helped a lot, because before I didn't communicate that as well. It was more of like, you're so damn lazy, like you're not doing anything. I have to do everything. Like, I feel like the mother, you're acting like a kid. You need to grow up. I would say all of those things that made him feel worse and maybe emasculated him. And I've learned not to do that because I don't want to do that. Even if Emilio is acting a little immature in certain situations, I am very careful with how I say it. And I am very clear with, I want a partner. It doesn't matter if you're 7 years younger than me. I'm not your mama. I don't want to be your mom. It makes you very sexy to me if you are doing what you need to do in the relationship and for yourself and taking care of your bills. And I don't have to remind you, like, that is very sexy to me. And I need that in my relationship. So I communicated that from the very beginning. And there are times when maybe he forgets certain things and I remind him gently. And also where sometimes I catch myself saying things in a way that isn't cool, that I'm like, I have to correct myself and be vulnerable enough and humble enough to say, babe, I'm sorry. That wasn't cool. I shouldn't have said it that way. I do apologize. I'm a different woman. And I think it's because of everything that I've gone through and I've learned and I've grown and I've matured. And I told myself, I don't want to go through this heartache again. And I need to really look internally. And I did that. And it's so different now, guys. And I know I've talked about so many different things, so many different topics, and I'm hoping it all made sense because I didn't know where to start with this episode because there's so much to unpack here, which is why I was just let my heart lead. But I think when we set the intention of wanting to be our best selves in anything that we do and just saying, I want to be a good wife, a good girlfriend, a good employee, a good mother, a good friend, like when you set that intention, like I feel like something in the universe opens up and allows you and gives you signs and gives you opportunity to be that. So this is my opportunity. I'm not telling you my relationship is perfect because it's not. We have our ups and our downs. We have rough patches as well, but also it's how we argue. We argue very differently now. I communicate differently. I take space. I say, hey, I think we're not going to get anywhere right now with this conversation. I'm going to excuse myself. I'll come back. Give me a little bit. I got to go just do me real quick and I'll come back to this conversation. All those little things have made a big difference in my life, in my relationship as a wife. And I think that's why I can say I'm a good wife because I am willing. I am open. I want to be a good wife. And I don't care what anyone else thinks. That's another thing. I don't care if my friends think, oh my God, es una mandilona, or she always has to like communicate or call him. I don't care. If my friends have never told me this, they might think it. They haven't told me this, but even if they did, I'd be like, look, I get it, but like I want this relationship to work and this is the way that I'm going to do it. And if you don't agree with it, then maybe you're not meant to be in my life. Like that's where I'm at now. And I'm going to do what I need to do to make my relationship work, whether people agree with it or not, or how, if they do things differently, that's totally fine. I don't want to compare my relationship to anyone else's. We're doing our thing and we're doing it the way that works for us. You know, we do a lot of date nights. That's another thing. Like I want to get dressed up for my man. I want to put on something nice at night. Like, cause I will be that girl that I'm like funky at night and I just want to put on anything that's comfortable. And I'll do that, but then I'll surprise him. Like, okay, I'm gonna put on this little nightie. Like, I just want to look cute for you. It's all about keeping that, like, the flame on. Anyway, guys, that's that. That's this episode. And I hope that you've enjoyed it and that it also inspires you to be your best self. And not, even if you're not a wife yet, for you as a future wife or just in anything, I think it's just being intentional, guys, and living with intent and not just half-assing things. It's like, I am very like that. I like to finish what I start. I want to be good at what I do, and I'm going to try until trying is no longer an option. And yeah, I mean, I want my husband to look at me and remember why he fell in love with me without feeling so much pressure. I don't want it to feel like work. It's just when you are stepping into who you really are and you are in your authentic self, you don't even have to pretend. And that's the thing, like that can only last for so long. And I feel like one of my ex-partners did that. Like they pretended to be someone that they weren't. And then the mask falls off. And that's why I felt so bamboozled because I was like, this is not the person that I thought I had been with, or you know what I mean? Like, so I think when you're just working and living and moving from your authentic self, like it just works. As a wife, as a friend, as an employee, as an influencer, as an artist, whatever. It's just moving from your authentic self, from like the core of your being. And it just saves you a lot of headaches. So anyway, I did want to just share all of this. It just became so many different things in one episode. But this is what I love about my podcast and what I love about you guys, because you guys come and listen to all of my things. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for checking in with me each and every week. And don't forget about Dear Chiquis. We have a new episode coming on Wednesday. And anyway, I love you. I love you. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. And I'll catch you on the next episode of your favorite podcast, Chiquis and Chill. This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.